So have y'all been paying attention to this Elon Musk crash out? Now that those two are actually, like, on fighting terms? It's kind of crazy, right? So, like, we knew Elon Musk was going to be leaving the White House. And he didn't even leave unceremoniously. He actually left with, like, a decent bit of ceremony. He got a key and everything. I don't know what the key's supposed to symbolize, but he got one. Like, it's so wild. Also, Just Bramble, thank you for subscribing and following. I appreciate both of those things. Silver Dragon Sorcerer, thank you very much for redeeming your points as well for an OWO. The chicken wants to take away Elon's contracts. So let's go ahead and talk about what happened. So Elon Musk spent a lot of time as part of Doge. And Doge was the Department of Government Efficiency. The ideal was that Doge was supposed to save the government a lot of money. They ended up underperforming, and they didn't end up saving Trump the amount of money that he thought that they were going to be saving. Elon did his usual thing of overselling himself and then basically not following through. Remember that he was going to completely change the way we think about transportation with a tunnel that could only fit one fucking car in it? Yeah, we're not thinking about transportation any differently, other than maybe considering Teslas a little less now. So, Elon becomes part of the Department of Government Efficiency and tries to make as much money for the U.S. government as possible by cutting out a bunch of people's jobs. He basically uses the same strategy that he used when he took over Twitter, right? Send people a bunch of emails telling them that their job was being taken away, and then people got rubber banded a bunch where their jobs were not actually taken away, but then they were taken away, but then they weren't. And then he offered them basically a severance program that said, hey, we are going to pay for y'all to take 6 months off, but you lose your job as a result. And kind of told most people, hey, hold the line for as long as you possibly can on this, because Elon is gonna have, like, not only is Elon eventually gonna have a crash out, this can't last forever, but most importantly, government workers who maintain their positions of power have the best ability to gum up things like what ICE has been doing. So, fast forward to today. We now know that Elon Musk underperformed in his role as the leader of Doge. And what happens as a result of this? His 130 days come up. He leaves the White House. They try to have this, amiable, oh, well, Elon, he's going to go back to his cars, but he's always welcome back here. Like, there was a whole slew of things that were said to try to make it seem like this blow was being softened. And then, events of events happen. Elon is out, and the big, beautiful bill comes to town. Now, the big, beautiful bill is it ran through the House, and it proposed a new budget, amongst other things, that should happen for the United States government and Congress. And the big, beautiful bill has this little thing in it. Also, McMorgan the Merc, thank you for the 100 bits. I appreciate it. The big, beautiful bill has this little thing in it, just a tiny one. It doesn't really matter too much. The removal of the electric vehicle tax credit. Now, why is there a removal of the electric vehicle tax credit? Well, most likely, it's because as electric vehicles become more of the norm, having a tax credit for them won't make as much sense for the United States government. It's going to end up costing them more money. And more than anything, Trump is likely getting in with big oil companies again. And if he's in line with big oil companies and that bit of old money, which he was very in line with new money for a while, they definitely don't want to see a tax credit or any kind of incentive for their competition. They don't. Now, this is ignoring the fact that auto manufacturers have actually been making their own electric vehicles recently, but they still very, very much have their toes in the gas-guzzling market. Jasta says his head of EPA is an oil executive. Exactly. So now that you've got this effectively conflict of interest, Musk is on his way out. We don't know what the turmoils have been for them in the background, but Musk being on his way out means the big beautiful bill effectively can now pave its way to take away the tax exemptions that Musk has enjoyed. Now that that has happened, Musk has been crashing the fuck out on Twitter. He has been crashing the fuck out on Twitter. But see, when Musk crashes the fuck out, he starts throwing dirt. Like, a lot of dirt. So obviously, we've got him on Twitter saying, oh, well, I've got the big, ugly spending bill. It's going to make things much, much worse. Now, would he be saying this if the big, beautiful bill actually had a lot of stuff in there that benefited him? I don't know. I don't know if he would. But remember, Musk, like practically any Nazi, his allegiance is to himself. And every single person of this capacity, when you throw them into a soup with other people that have other interests, Musk is going to try to be the head honcho and only his interests matter. He's a narcissist at the end of the day. And he's going to find every way to make it seem like he's the hero of a moral story, but the reality is this is the end result of his narcissism. More than anything. He is a Nazi who has done Nazi things like do a Nazi salute. So, now we get to move into him talking about every single Republican in the House. Apparently, him and Mike Johnson are not on good terms as well. The House and Senate? He's basically shitting on them too. Because why not? Why not throw everybody under the bus at this point? It doesn't hurt him to. And he's basically got two options here for his ego. Option number one is walk away with his tail between his legs and say, oh, well, I did my best. I'm going to go back to Tesla. I'm going to give my all to them. Meanwhile, Tesla actively asked Musk to spend 40 hours a week working for Tesla. And Musk said, oh, I can't do that. So he's getting humiliated by his shareholders. He's getting humiliated by the guy whose boot he was licking for the longest time. So what's his option now? Liz, Chris, thank you for the 100 bits. Bohemian Lucy, thank you for the 45 bits. His option now, with all of this happening, is to save face. So how does he save face? By throwing dung. He gets to throw all the dung possible. So not only is he going after Mike Johnson, of course, where Mike Johnson says the federal debt has just topped $31.4 trillion, and the Congressional Budget Office now estimates federal spending of the fiscal year to go up even further. This is not sustainable, but now the Republicans are raising the debt ceiling. Musk is going to call this stuff out. See, before, he had an incentive to lie on the behalf of his beneficiaries. And Donald Trump was one of his biggest beneficiaries. Musk put a concerted effort into making sure that Trump got elected. Said, let them fight, let them eat each other. Yeah, when two terrible people are fighting, the best thing to do is to let them fight. So now we're just watching this glorious crash out. We are watching this. As Elon Musk says, oh, where's the Mike Johnson of 2023? Where's the guy who was worried about federal spending? Why is this the guy who's okay with raising the debt ceiling now? Why is that an okay thing to do now, Mike Johnson? This doesn't make Elon a good person. It just makes him criticize the same people we would normally criticize for all of the same reasons. Then we have him talking about Donald Trump. This is another thing that's been neat to see. Elon has been acting like... What's the best way to put this? You know those people who are so goddamn disingenuous that whenever you're having an argument, they scroll through your social media feed and they find everything that you've done over the last few years? And they use that in the argument against you, irrespective of what you guys have been arguing about? I watched this happen when there was a person who criticized my mom on Facebook about something. And I came to defend my mom, and the person who was fighting against my mom was a friend of mine, technically. They were somebody I had added on Facebook because we met playing Pokemon Go. This person then decided to go through my Facebook feed and find a moment where I had said something. I think it was like I used the R slur or something some 15, 16 years ago. Maybe not 16 years ago. It's Pokemon Go. So that was 2016? 10 years ago, basically? Because I had hit a deer, and I had used the R slur when talking about I had hit the deer with my car. So I was calling a deer that was dead because my car had ran into it, because it ran into my car. Also, thank you very much for the raid, Hannah. I had called this, and this person used that against me in our conversation. It had nothing the fuck to do. It had nothing the fuck to do with our conversation. It had nothing to do with anything we were talking about, but they were most certainly going to grab that information from however many years ago it was on Facebook and use that in the argument, despite it having no relevance. Now, I'm not saying that's exactly what Elon's doing here, but it carries that same petty energy. And you only carry that petty energy when you are slinging all the mud possible. Axo says, oh no, being ableist years ago towards a deer that will not remember or be affected by it because it's a deer. Exactly. And if you're the type of person that thinks that that was an okay thing to do, then please unsubscribe from my channel. You can do it right now without even worrying about it in the slightest. So, what is Elon doing that reminds me of that? He's pulling up Trump's words from over a decade ago, where Trump said, I can't believe the Republicans are extending the debt ceiling. I'm a Republican and I'm embarrassed. He's grabbing those words and throwing them at Trump himself right now. Because those words are from before Trump was even president. So he's doing things like saying, oh, wise words. I wonder where the guy who said these wise words is. Those were such wise words back then. It's a shame we don't have this person anymore saying these things. And, like, I find it really funny. Because, again, this is the worst person you know saying shit about the other worst person you know. Musk is a Nazi. Trump is a fascist. They were strange bedfellows to one another, and now they're here. They can be lost in this sauce for as long as possible. Doesn't matter to me. Oh yeah, Trump being a hypocrite, what a shock. Flying Man says, are you MAGA, sir? No, I'm not an idiot. The answer to am I MAGA is no, I'm not a fucking moron. The only people who are MAGA are people with a clear financial incentive into being so, or people who are just really dumb. How's it going, Bon Bon? How you doing? Can we get a shout out for Bon Bon? Known channel artist and friend of the channel. Also, pretty freaking cool person, all things considered. Derp. Where's the derp coming from? What happened with the... What's derping? All right, and said wrong bonbon. Bonbon.jpg. Oh, different bonbon. I see. Not the right bonbon. Not the right bonbon. That is a weird bonbon. Look, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. Look, I see bonbon and I think bonbon, okay? That's my fault. Tab complete, ah. So wait, Pon, you're a mod. You can do it. You're so here for the Elon dunking. It's hilarious to me. You're working on a new logo again as you're changing from vague Windows 98 branding to Windows XP. I mean, Windows XP is better than 98. But, like, you should really do what everybody loved more than anything. A combination Windows 7, or a combination Windows Vista, Windows 8 branding. That's what the people really need. That's what the people truly need. That's what they're missing in their lives. And if you don't believe me, then I'm sorry, you're just wrong. Yeah, Windows Vista, best OS ever created. How could you ever deny it? You remember XP? But Windows Vista, everybody loved it so much that it wasn't even one of the shortest-lived operating systems Windows ever used. Windows Vista was so well loved that people didn't get people didn't get free upgrades to other things. Said Windows experience points. Anywho. So. There's more to cover as well. Like this right here. In fact, actually, let's make it way easier on myself. Because I am healing. And I need to be able to heal. So we're going to put that right there. And we're going to listen to Elon Musk talk about the big ugly bill increasing our deficit even more, I guess.
I think that we've got this enormous federal budget deficit, and it's a $2 trillion deficit. It keeps growing. Our interest payments are higher than our Defense Department budget. That's I think was the real wake-up call for me, was looking at seeing that the interest payments on national debt exceeded the Defense Department budget. And that was only growing over time, which meant if we didn't do something about this, then there won't be any money for anything. We'll just be servicing debt.
And you know how to read an income statement, and you know how to read a balance sheet. You've had some business experience. I'm kidding, but yeah, you know about this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, really, I just don't want America to go bankrupt.
So it's a call to action. You're hearing a call to action.
Yeah.
You giving up your other stuff? I mean, how are you running your other businesses?
With great difficulty. Yeah, I mean...
But there's no turning back, you're saying?
I'm just here trying to make government more efficient, eliminate waste and fraud, and...
Is this the time where he
so
cried
far we're
about
making
it?
good progress.
Wait, was that crying in his voice? Was that the clip where he fucking cried about running Doge? Jesus. Okay. Let me go ahead and make this just a wee bit bigger. There we go. Let's make that a wee bit bigger so we can talk about the next bit, where Elon speaks about Trump owing him from the election effectively. Elon saying, without me, Trump would have lost the election, Dems would control the House, and the Republicans would have a 51/49 Senate. Such ingratitude. Remember when J.D. Vance was telling Zelensky, did you even thank Donald Trump? This is what narcissists always do. Did you even thank me for the things I did for you? My guy, you didn't have to do any of that shit. You didn't have to do any of that. You did that of your own accord. But did you even thank me for it? I don't know. I don't think I cared. Said, did Trump try to fuck Grimes? I don't know. Like, if you're upset about how Trump is running the country right now and how he's acting towards you, you should have been able to see the blood in the water a mile away. Because you did create this. You started this. When you decided to throw millions of dollars a month into Trump's campaign. I have no love for Elon, but it is funny as fuck watching one narcissist piss and moan about another narcissist not sucking his toes properly. Because that's all this is. That's all this is. And then, the bomb of all bomb drops, which, I mean, it's not really a bomb. We all fucking knew this. But Elon Musk is going after Trump specifically now, effectively calling him a pedophile rapist. Because Trump's name is in the Epstein files. Because of course it is. Because of course it is. Said also water is wet. Remember, Trump is convicted of sexually assaulting people. Like, again, water is wet. This is not news to anybody. But there's plenty of Republicans who will deny that Donald Trump is a sexual assaulter, that will deny that he's a rapist, or try to throw it under the bridge, but will also say things like, oh, Epstein didn't kill himself because the elites wanted him silenced because he was going to let everybody know who was in his black book. So, what does Elon Musk say? Time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason they have not been made public. Like, yeah, no duh. The real reason the Epstein files aren't public is because the people who are convicted in the Epstein files are people in power who do not want to be sent to prison. And everybody, every single person who has been around the block for even a little bit of time knows what happens to pedophiles in prison. Obviously, this is just telling us shit we already knew. I'm also... Wouldn't it be interesting if the Epstein files were released and Elon Musk's name was also in there? Like, well, you pressed the button, buddy. Said it's weird that we have pics of Jeff and Don together. Of course we do. Of course we do. They were known compatriots of one another. It said, Legasp, Trump is in the Epstein files. Color me shocked. Yeah, nobody would be shocked by that. Bravo Needs Bacon. Thank you very much for the 90-bit. Says, we have 2 toddlers running the country because a bunch of racists and morons didn't like the intelligent black lady. Like, don't get me wrong. Harris was about as centrist as you can get. There were plenty of leftists that did not want Harris either, because she really was more establishment Democrat. I was willing to root for Harris because I didn't want Trump, because I knew what a Trump presidency was going to look like. But since we don't have a chance of getting Harris right now, I'm just going to say, quite plainly, Harris would have been more of the same from the Biden administration, and there's plenty of problems with that. So, Elon Musk retweeting people going, the relationship between Trump and Epstein is well established. Trump flew on Epstein's plane at least 7 times, though it's not clear if he ever went to the island. Here is what Trump said about Epstein in a 2002 New York Magazine profile. Epstein likes to tell people that he's a loner, a man who's never touched alcohol or drugs, and one whose nightlife is far from energetic. And yet, if you talk to Donald Trump, a different Epstein emerges. I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy. Trump booms from a speakerphone. He's a lot of fun to be with. It's even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do. And many of them are on the younger side. No doubt about it, Epstein enjoys his social life. Una Winged Wolf says, yeah, but trans people wouldn't have been wiped from the history books. So, yes, okay, so the statement, Harris would have been better than Trump, is a true statement. The statement, Harris would be better than more Biden, is an unknown statement. The statement, Harris is an establishment Democrat and comes with all the baggage of an establishment Democrat, is also a very true statement. And especially after what's been happening with David Hogg, I'm going to be honest, establishment Dems do not have my support. I can only really stomach them in a world where our alternative is outright fascism, as opposed to the status quo of U.S. imperialism. Democrats are better than Republicans, by and large. It doesn't make modern-day Democrats not suck. When a Democrat is selling you on, we're gonna keep Medicare and Medicaid for everybody, they're selling you on holding the line. They're not selling you on materially making your life better. When a Democrat is selling you on universal health care, they are telling you that they are going to try to fundamentally improve your life. They are going to try to give you access to healthcare that you did not have access to before, and that is going to make your life better than it currently is. Said old Democrats need to step aside for younger ones. That's why David Hogg got ousted from the Democratic Party, because that was his opinion. He was part of a group of people who made it their job to do that, to get rid of old establishment Democrats and replace them with new blood that wasn't as tainted. That was his status quo that he wanted to shake up. And that got him ousted from the party. But Elon Musk retweeting this, Elon Musk then retweeting the 1992 video of Trump partying with Epstein.
Giving Epstein his personal attention. The footage, shot in November of 1992, before Trump opened the resort as a club, shows the future president surrounded by cheerleaders for the Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins, capturing Trump's fun-loving bachelor lifestyle for an appearance on Faith Daniels' NBC talk show.
We're going to get great ratings in your show.
Trump is surrounded by women as music blares in the background. After a while, Trump goes to greet 3 new guests. Among them, the financier Jeffrey Epstein.
Come on in. Go inside.
More than a decade before his guilty plea on state prostitution charges. Later in the footage, Trump is seen talking to Epstein and another man as women are dancing in front of them. Trump alternates between dancing and pointing out women to Epstein and the other man and telling Epstein about the cameras. Though exactly what they say is difficult to understand as they discuss the women and their appearances, Trump gestures to one and appears to say to Epstein, "Look at her back there. She's hot." And then Trump says something else into Epstein's ear that makes him double over with laughter. But as the president said...
So, again, Trump and Epstein together, it's not news. It's not really news at all. It's stuff that we all have known for years. But it's funny watching the crash out of Elon Musk as he's pointing this out to everybody, going, hey, actually, maybe this Trump person is kind of a piece of shit. And remember, this is all because he got ousted from his position in the White House. And that ousting ended in him losing electric vehicle tax breaks. Losing his tax breaks made him feel like this. So, if you ever want evidence that people like Musk are all about the money and don't give a shit about you or anybody else or any ally they might possibly have, so long as you cost them money, this is your evidence. He does not give a shit about any allies he has. He only cares about the money that he can earn. And again, I'm not trying to defend Trump here. I'm not trying to defend Musk here. But this is very, very telling behavior. This is ridiculously telling behavior. Jasta says, what a welfare queen. Dude, Musk is one of the biggest welfare queens. It's kind of crazy. It is kind of nutty how much welfare and tax benefits this guy gets. His entire life is subsidized by the United States government. Kind of crazy. And here's the thing. This Musk crash out, this hasn't just been a today thing. This has been going on for the last few days. I want to say the last 3 days. This has been happening. More and more anti-Trump shit is coming out of Musk right now, and it is hilarious. It is wacky and wild. And at the end of the day, again, this is what you should have expected. They were strange bedfellows for the longest time. The biggest thing they had in common was their ideological beliefs and their love of money. But here's the thing. Elon Musk and Trump both want to be the last man who has the word. They both want to be the most important person in the world. Musk de facto gets to hold part of that title because he is the richest guy in the world right now. And Trump gets to hold part of that title because he's the president of the United States, ostensibly the free world, quote, quote. These are two people who have gone to war before. Remember when Truth Social was founded? And it was founded effectively because Twitter ousted Trump? Do you remember that Trump didn't get his Twitter back until Elon made that happen? But Trump's Twitter was taken down for the longest time. And so Trump effectively was Elon's social media rival with his Truth Social system. These are two people who can never get along on a joint venture for very long. 130 days. And that was 130 days where we saw shit like Musk's child. Like Musk's child making fun of Trump. Now, obviously, there's plenty of Musk children who will make fun of Trump. He's got so damn many of them. And he always forgets that he's got a daughter who also will make fun of him. But it's wild. Speaking of her, how do you think Vivian's taking all this? Guitar Rocker says Elon and Trump fighting is hilarious. Oh, it is. It is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. I love watching two people that I despise at each other's throats. My job just becomes so easy when that happens. I don't even have to give you an actionable thing and say, here's what you do in X, Y, and Z. No. All I have to do is say, congratulations, everybody. We get the unique opportunity to do nothing but point and laugh. Heartwarming. The two worst people you know are fighting. Yep. I guess that's what Vivian is saying right now. I think I started a war on Twitter between American conservatives and Polish Euro fans. I don't know what that's in reference to. Haven't even the slightest idea. But nah, this Musk drama's hilarious. This Musk drama's hilarious. Like this tweet right here. Is it time to create a new political party in America that actually represents the 80% in the middle? Well, Musk, I do believe that it's time for another political party. But I don't want the middle represented. I think the Democrats are the middle. I'd like the left represented properly, please. That would be fantastic, you know? An actual socialist party? Wouldn't that be something? I think that'd be something. I think that would be neat. She's also talking about how the weather's lovely today. Makes sense. Like, I guess it's not as big of news in her world. Oh, Dad's fighting with somebody right now? Don't give a shit about that. Hope he dies. Just Bramble says, I would love to watch Muskrat take a bite out of Republican votes. Oh, I would. See, here's my prediction for all this. Musk is going to create a divide where your more memey alt-right that is going to ally itself with new money and tech more often, your crypto bros, are going to break away from the Republican Party. Now, will that actually do anything when it comes to voting time? Probably not. Historically, it won't. But it will do some damage in eroding the MAGA monolith. A fracturing of the MAGA movement isn't as good as truly stripping away those votes come vote time, but it's definitely helpful. Now, you know what's wild? So you know how Marjorie Taylor Greene is all about Trump. I got an email from her office the other day that said that we need to make the Doge cuts permanent. You know for a fact that she's going to be walking that shit back in a couple of days. Goblin says, awfully presumptuous for him to think he's anything like the mythical 80%. They not like us. Look, Trump likes them a little too young for most sane people's tastes. Jesus. This whole thing is hilarious. Y'all should subscribe. Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. I really could not do any of this without all of you. Those of you watching, and especially those of you who support me on Patreon. I wanted to go ahead and take a minute to thank all of you who do that, because with YouTube being what it is these days, I really cannot do this full-time without the support from each and every one of you. Those people would be Red Joker, Purple Poundini, Jemshin, Britzkrieg, Jupe the Malignant, Michael, Ravalern, Mabbity Babbity, Astral Frontier, Tales of Atonement, Nixie Chan, Kiri Artemis, Victorian Alchemist, I'm not saying the last part of that, and you know that, Leela Ururaka, Arcton Arclacier, Kiratorian, Dren Hadamata, Jordan M, John L, Lord Bleck, Smiling Game Master, and Fireshard. Thank you so very much. But since you're here, why not go ahead and try watching another one? There should be one that's on the screen right now. And if you are a patron of mine, I wanted to go ahead and thank you again for all of your support. There is still a video you could press though, if you'd like. I would appreciate it just a little bit.